Do not attempt to adjust your computer. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. The Mothership flies through cyberspace one more time. My name is Dobie Maxwell, also known as the King of Uranus. To your left and my right, this super geek, and I mean that in a friendly and a customer service kind of a way, the one and only Greg DeGuire. To your right and to my left, Carrie Turner.
Yes.
Our Millennial Falcon is here, and also our pal Al from who knows what...
We don't want to know.
I don't know what...
From Parts Unknown.
Parts Unknown is here, and this is I believe, our 5th episode.
Yes, that is correct.
We're counting episodes, and if you are a radio listener from the WLIP days, thank you for being here. If you're a new viewer, thank you for being here as well. What we're doing in our first few episodes is kind of getting back to our roots where we were on the radio. We had a 5-year run, and I was the only one that was consistent through the 5 years. Carrie was not there. Greg was there for, what, I don't know, almost 3?
It was almost 4. 3. We'll call it 3.5.
It's amazing that his expertise is in so many bounds. I just sit here and drive the motorcycle. You're riding sidecar, and everybody's throwing the wreaths at you, and that's okay. One of your many areas of expertise is movies. We want to talk today about movies. Carrie, are you a movie person?
Yes, definitely.
Now you're young, so now the modern movies. Do you go back and see old movies, or only in your generation?
Everything.
Okay.
I just watched Blazing Saddles. I did half of my homework this week.
Okay.
That movie was amazing.
Yeah. Couldn't do that today.
No, they couldn't. They could not release Blazing Saddles.
They have to censor almost every part of it. I heard on TV.
Now, when they released it for TV, the infamous fart scene couldn't do. They transitioned everything over to burps and belches. Not quite as fun.
Not quite as funny. We might have one of those today. I had sauerkraut for lunch. We might have to do our own
baked beans over here.
Baked beans over there. We'll pull our
cookies and beer. We're good. We're doing
good.
good.
The Close Encounters. I'll get the low note too. That'll be good.
Yeah.
And,
so I was gonna say now the last time when we were on the air last,
yes.
There's been now 2 new Star Wars films, a new Jurassic Park, a new Terminator. I mean, these franchises just don't seem to want to die.
Now, I will admit, in my generation, they made 1 movie and maybe 2, and that was it. I remember seeing Jaws for the first time in a theater. I was 12 years old, and I was with my uncle. It was a great movie, and we're driving home, and I remember saying halfway through, he said, you know what? They should make another movie. I call it Jaws 2. And he said, what could they possibly write about? That's never going to happen. And I think they made, what, about 15 of those?
They made up to Jaws 4 or was it Jaws 5?
The shark swam up the sewer, came up to the toilet, was eating people in the desert. Did you see the first Jaws?
I saw the first one. I didn't want to see any more from there, but now they have like a modern day. It's like called Sharknado. I didn't watch it.
Has there been 4 Sharknados? Now the first Sharknado was a runaway hit on the Sci-Fi Channel. It grew legs and popular quickly. And they shoveled out.
Was it bad? Good? I didn't see. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, boy. Okay.
Not good.
It was a calling back to the old B movies,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the special effects weren't the greatest. It was kind of hokey, kind of cheesy. But again, it was like an old Saturday afternoon B movie. Now you'd see them late night on TV nowadays, like The Blob or The Classic Thing.
Mm-hmm.
It harkened back to those days. At least the first one did, I thought anyways. I thought the first one was clever.
And they stretched out 3 more.
And they unfortunately stretched out 3 more.
Boy, you know, in my old age, I just don't have the time to even risk something like that. I don't. The title, okay, maybe clever. I might sit through 10 minutes of it. So you liked it?
I haven't seen it yet. I just heard.
The Sci-Fi Channel tried doing this. They had a resurgence of newer monster-ish type movies. They had big tarantula movies, dinosaur movies in modern day time. I mean, they tried. They give it like the old Saturday afternoon popcorn movies at home. They tried to bring them around, but it just didn't.
Now, what do you think it is about the human psyche that enjoys horror movies? Do you like being scared?
Ooh, well, yes and no. I do like some scary movies. Some other scary movies, however, scare me a little too much. Because in turn, I'm a baby when it comes to ghost movies. If they're real enough, I get scared. It's just that simple.
What are you scared of?
The last movies that I got scared of were the Paranormal Activity movies. I thought the first 2 Paranormal Activity movies I thought were quite clever, very well done, old-time movie magic. You didn't know. I mean, it looked like they were filming ghosts. It was very Blair Witchy, all done by a security cam in the corner of the house, that sort of thing. I thought they were very, very well done, and again, very clever, and they scared the bejabbers out. I didn't want to. I held the cat. My cat's got to watch it too. Whatever happens to me happens to the cat. I couldn't watch it alone.
4 lives left. We lost 5 out of 9 in this movie.
Just in one movie.
Just in one movie. 9 lives and I lost 5.
Ghost movies will, and possession movies, or we'll get to The Exorcist.
That's where I.
Yeah, The Exorcist was a little frightening.
Yeah. Now, I've met people who were in The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
I met Eileen Dietz. She was the stunt double for Linda Blair in the whole pea soup scene. I've met her. Nice lady. We're Facebook pals.
I'm sure she is.
She is the nicest woman you ever want to meet. I still can't watch that movie. I mean, I know what the deal is. I understand it's a movie. Still can't watch it.
Do you think we indulge in this because we don't experience this every day now, and we're kind of like, well?
I think part of it is in today's, well, in any day society, is we feel trapped. Mm-hmm. So we need a release. And sometimes that release comes in the form of action adventure, things we can't do, but we can watch Indiana Jones do,
right.
Or scary movies. You and I can't go do an exorcism on someone who we think might be possessed, but they sure can in the films. Yeah. So we're going to go watch this sort of thing.
I think it kind of equates to hot food. People like really hot food to the point where they can barely breathe.
Right.
Excuse me. Live radio, live TV, live broadcast. Excuse me.
Yeah, I can't do habaneros.
Right.
They will melt me.
But people do until they sweat, until they almost have to call. Now, why is this? Must be the same thing. It's maybe, is it a controlled
thrill?
The
thrill of it.
People jump out of airplanes.
Yeah, they jump out of perfectly good airplanes. Why? It's not.
So here's what you do: you jump out of an airplane, eating a habanero pepper, watching The Exorcist on your phone.
We can make that happen.
Yeah.
I can't. I've had a hip surgery. The doctor was very clear in saying after one hip surgery, I can no longer skydive or go spelunking. Those two are out.
Did you do that before?
Not a one.
Life is good. Right. So now, horror movies are a deep thing. Now, they're also, rumor has it, again, we a lot of times are based on rumor, hearsay. That's what the show's all about, because there are so many conspiracy theories that the government of the United States is putting alien movies out to prepare us for the eventual disclosure. Not the back before your time, not before your time. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I love that movie.
All-time great.
Yeah.
I've heard that too. So what movies and TV does do, and video games especially, I know we'll get into video games at another point in time, but they desensitize people to certain things. So people who aren't used to violence, who watch lots of violent video games or movies or TV, then when they see violence, especially on the news, they're like, geez, another shooting. Or just 10 years, you're like, oh my God, there was a shooting. Now it's like, change the channel, next. So we're becoming desensitized to the whole thing. So if that were the case, there's been plenty of alien movies out there. Some of my favorites include Contact, Jodie Foster, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Fire in the Sky,
E.T.
D.B. Sweeney, yeah. E.T., of course, even Battleground L.A. You've seen this movie? Fun movie. All right, so aliens invade Los Angeles and have to call out the Marines to shoot them all back. It's a fun movie. I can't remember the actor's name, but he was in the newer Batman movies as Two-Face. Aaron Eckhart, is that the kid? Is that the feller's name? That might be his name. Anyways, Battlefield Los Angeles, good alien attack movie. And of course, one of my all-time favorites, Independence Day. I mean, there's lots of alien movies out there. So it's not without reason that if they wanted to slowly divulge the secret, people might say, oh, they really exist? Who cares? Change the channel, next.
But there's so many interpretations too. You know, how do they know what's going to be the real thing if it ever happens?
That's the thing. I think you're not going to know until it does.
Yeah.
We all have a theory. we want guys like Al to maybe twice or three times the size to land and bring us cheap gas, put a ground in there, all the secrets of technology that we had.
Yeah.
Never going to die. You eat on one pill and live for 3,000 years. That's what we all want, but who knows if that's true. I mean, I look at it this way. I've traveled in my life, in my youth. What I did in my youth, and there are cities all over the United States of America, cities all over the world. They have a separate life. It exists. We assume it exists, but we're not there until we're there. But then, say if we are in one city, where all the other ones exist. I think the planets are like that too. We happen to be on this one, and there's all these other ones, and people have had technology ahead of us that can come here and observe us, but we can't observe them.
I've said this about aliens many times, and I got this from a line in Harry and the Hendersons. They're talking about seeing Bigfoot, and I'm going to relate this to aliens. Here's the thing: I've never seen a baby pigeon, but I'm pretty sure they exist. Same with aliens. I've never seen one. Doesn't mean they don't exist. You can't walk around downtown Chicago without stepping on murder of pigeons or a gathering. I don't know what they call it, a group of pigeons, flock, whatever. I've never seen a baby pigeon.
What's your theory about it? Because your generation has been desensitized to it through the internet.
Yeah, just through our whole lives, I guess. I mean, I'm with you. I think they exist.
My grandparents, I was raised by my grandparents, and they were born in 1911 and 1912. Yeah. And they were just vehemently against it. Oh, no pie in the skies, no flying saucers, none of that stuff. It's all crap. That's what they thought, because their generation was pretty much taught that.
Well, you look at, as far as pop culture goes and movies, it really took off after the first viewing in art. So you had the Roswell incident in 1947.
That's the big thing.
Before that, there was the Mount Rainier, the viewing of the flying saucers by the infamous pilot. Now the name.
Let us fill in our viewers that don't know that.
Yeah, now the fellas, the name of the pilot is escaping me, but he viewed disc shapes flying through the Rainier Mountains in Washington State. Oh, this was 1947. This is early. So Roswell happened in late June, early July 1947. This was a few months before that. So right around the same time. What the hell was the name of the... Anywho, so reporters asked him, when he landed, he said he saw these lights that were moving faster than the speed of light. Everyone thought he was crazy. So some reporter asked him, well, what do they look like? Well, they look like if you took a saucer cup and skipped it across the water, the saucer skipping. So there's that reporter who asked that question said so it was like a flying saucer. Coined phrase, flying saucer ever since then.
Yeah.
So that guy, when Roswell happened, they asked this guy's opinion, but he never made it to the crash scene. And then shortly thereafter, in I want to say again Washington State, it was called the Moray Island incident. So some fishermen see this UFO that's been injured somehow, and it's dripping metal bits, and some of the metal bits went through the fishing boat and sunk the boat. So they had to call the army in to get these metal fragments that fell off the melting UFO. So they bring in the FBI and the military police and all this kind of stuff. So they pick up this metal slag, is what they call it, put it on a C-150 or an air transport at the time, probably a B-1 bomber, one of the bigger planes they had at the time. Mm-hmm. And they were going to ship it to Wright-Patterson Airfield in Ohio, which was where the original Hangar 18 was. That was meant for German bits of technology that we got. We were going to reverse engineer it, see how they work. So that was set up for anything unusual we might find, so they can reverse engineer it. Plane never got there. Crashed along the way. Metal pieces lost to existence. Now, I've said this before. Here comes my JFK connection to that particular incident. Mm-hmm. The only man ever brought to trial for the assassination of John F. Kennedy was a fellow by the name of Clay Shaw. His real name is Clay Bertrand. Now, we're not sure if Clay was actually his real name at this point in time still, but Bertrand was his last name. Guess who the officer was in charge of collecting his metal fragments way back when for the Moray Island incident, and the fragments are lost to the wind. The guy who was in charge of that whole operation, Clay Bertrand.
Interesting. Fascinating. Unbelievable. Not a
I know a lot of dumb stuff. I know.
I know, and that's the good thing about it. Now, if you're joining us again, one of our prize guests we will have back on the new edition of the Mothership is a gentleman named Don Schmidt. And Don Schmidt wrote a book, A Witness to Roswell, and Roswell supposedly kicked it off with the mass public because we were blowing off nuclear bombs, and it got out to the outer reaches of the universe, and someone said the 2-year-old's got the gun and the safety's off. Mm-hmm. He shot a couple of bullets, and Don talks about that all the time. So Google Don Schmidt before he comes down here again.
His book excellent book. Excellent
is fantastic. It's been upgraded, and also every 4th of July weekend he's out in Roswell doing a what do you call it, a festival, a get together.
Cool.
Yeah, that's America's other Independence Day. I mean, other than July 4th, but that's when that was the anniversary of Roswell. Also, secretly unknowns, that's why Independence Day was released the same way. It's kind of an homage to the Roswell incident. That's why it's in the film, obviously, but that was their homage to tipping their. Here we go.
Now, how much do you know about Roswell? It's okay if you don't mind trying to put you on the spot.
Not much. I started reading the book that you lent me. I forget who wrote that.
I think that was the same book.
Was it?
Book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the definitive one.
Oh yeah, it's really good so far. I've read into the first couple of chapters, but I mean, from what you've been telling me, that's my intro to it, and just kind of the overview of it. And
it did say what I was almost fascinated about. It said in the newspaper, flying saucer crashes in the first edition of I don't know if it was the Roswell nose blower, thrifty nickel.
I think I've got a copy of that somewhere. I've actually been to Roswell. I drove through
As
there, I
have I.
want to say, way back in 2009. It's been a long time. But I went through and got a lot of goofy T-shirts because that's what you do.
Yep.
I didn't have a chance to go on the Jeep Trail to actually go out into the thicket to see where it all happened. I didn't have time for that. But bizarre little town. If you ever get the chance and you're driving through New Mexico, you can. It's off of Old Route 66. So if you're going westward, it's before you hit Benson's Corners. If you're going eastward, after Benson's Corners, there's a jog to the right. Take that, runs you right through Roswell.
And go see the National UFO Museum.
Oh,
Definitely,
Fantastic.
most definitely.
It's the best $5 you'll ever spend. I think it's $5 to get in. Totally worth it.
Yeah, I've got pictures of that somewhere. They had a really funny poster of all sorts of different alien spacecraft. One was like the Batwing. I think there was a Millennium Falcon, Starship Enterprise. And it has the government's translation for what these are. And it all says swamp gas, swamp gas, swamp gas. So everything people claim they see, they go, well, it must have been swamp gas.
I was coming through there. I was doing stand-up comedy in, what was I? Tucson. Couldn't remember the name of it. Tucson. Coming through, driving back. And I stopped in Roswell for the night. And there was a hotel that had an alien, looked like a big version of Al. And it had a Packard jersey on. Green Bay Packers. I'm thinking, this is where I'm going to stay. I don't know why. So I guess.
Now, one of the biggest, the government, it was called Operation Blue Book. I want to say it was Dr. J. Allen Hynek.
Yes, J. Allen Hynek in Chicago.
Yeah. And Hynek was brought on board to debunk the whole shooting match. Well, let's bring this guy on board. He's straight as an arrow. I don't know if he was former Air Force. I don't remember what exactly his background was, but they brought him in. All right, you go to all these things and you debunk all this stuff. Let's get the public out of this. There's a waste of time. Tell them it's bogus. But the problem with that is Allen Hynek became a believer in the whole thing. Because, yes, so of 100% of what he found, 80%, forget it. It's doggered. It's nonsense. So maybe 10% of it is like, well, maybe it was something else. Doesn't mean it was alien in origin, but maybe it was something else. But it's the other 10% that was completely unexplainable. Well, there's no way that could have been this or could have been that. Well, what the hell could have been? It was that small percentage that drove him to flip sides. So he went from debunker to believer.
Wow.
And they tipped their hat. He's in a scene in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Towards the very end of the film, when they're setting up the runway at the base of Devil's Tower, there's a fella there with he's wearing glasses and he's got a bow tie, maybe a pipe. He's got like maybe 4 seconds of screen time, but he was so involved with the project that they put him in the film. So at the end of Close Encounters, he's wearing like a blue lab coat. He's got a pipe, looking very official looking. The camera centers right on him. That is Dr. Hynek. So. And
our man Don Schmidt worked with J. Allen Hynek in Chicago and interviewed him. So Don Schmidt, SCHMITT, look him up. We'll have him on as a guest, I guarantee it.
He sounds like the real deal.
He is the real deal.
Yeah,
He's fascinating. Really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, that led around to movies. So, guy who went to debunk, became a believer, got in a movie. Ain't Hollywood great?
Yeah, and you wonder, I mean, there's so much money that goes into movies, and the government, I really truly believe if they want a message to get out, they can pay anybody and say, okay, Steven Spielberg, who are the big directors, Stanley Kubrick, rumor has it, we're hearing the rumors that Stanley Kubrick, a big director, faked the moon landings.
And we talked about that movie before, Capricorn 1, with an O.J. Simpson film, yeah. It was a made-for-TV film that debunked the whole thing, so they didn't actually go anywhere.
That was a theater movie.
Was that a theater movie?
Theatrical release.
Theater movie, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, fun movie. It's one of those movies that, you know, well, now that's a weird way to look at things now, isn't it? Where would someone have actually got the idea to make a movie like that?
That's the thing. And you look at the technology. Okay, 1947 is when Roswell happened and the Mount Rainier incident. Well, when did technology really start exploding? We're in the early 50s, post-war, into the 60s. I mean, in the last 50 to 60 years, the technology in the history of the world has not been even close.
Now, the government's explanation to all that is, of course, they have one, is the end of World War II, so we were able to use things that we got from captured Nazi technology and brought them into our own and come up with all these things.
Not like that, though.
No way. So out of the Roswell UFO crash, supposedly we got fiber optics, Kevlar,
right,
Mylar, night vision, enhanced microwave technology. I mean, there's a lot of things that we got on
Nerf ping pong.
Nerf ping pong, yes.
Big alien game.
That's why we have. That was a big thing. That was the tinfoil that you crumple up, went right back, just like a potato chip bag. Now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Try taking a potato chip bag, crumple up. Guess what's going to happen?
Boom. Yep.
Comes back up.
Supposedly that was the
just like the metal on the ship in Roswell.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, but it's a lot. Doesn't mean any of it's true. But it makes it very interesting.
There's just enough room for doubt.
Yes. Yeah.
We never know.
Yeah, it's not beyond a shadow of any doubt. There's a lot of argument room in there that could really go either way.
But
fascinating.
To think we are the only species, and whatever God, not God, is Anunnaki created us. There's so many different.
We haven't even gotten you involved in the ancient aliens.
I haven't.
Ooh.
Got a lot of reading to do.
I'm
yet,
so
buddy.
excited.
It's okay.
I was always on the fence about aliens as they were. Even when I was on the show, it was a fascinating topic to me. I was never really like a true believer. Not until I got into the ancient alien theories, where all this stuff started to come together. It's like, huh. Well, I guess I hadn't thought of it that way. Well, geez, maybe. So there's lots of now. What's the name of the author? I got his books upstairs. Eric von Däniken.
Chariots of the Gods.
Yeah. Chariots of the Gods. I've got the original printing from the early 70s. I got the original hardcovers upstairs.
Cool.
Fascinating. Now, I know there's an Ancient Aliens TV show that was on History Channel for quite some time. I do believe that they stretched it, and some episodes were really reaching. I'm like, okay. But some of the early episodes that went in the hardcore material, fascinating.
A couple of just talk points about the ancient aliens. What happened? I mean, you always hear there's artwork from thousands of years ago that have pictures of and hieroglyphics and Egyptian that have aliens.
Yeah, the Anasazi Indians of the American Southwest, all kind of weird looking stick people with square shoulders, antenna. Where in the hell would they get an idea like that from? I mean, obviously people had imaginations. I mean, look at our generation. Well, generations past, look at the Teletubbies. Well, where in the hell did someone get an idea like that from, right? So maybe this was just ancient.
What was the drug that peyote?
Peyote.
That's probably a good source.
It could be they were on peyote and just started drawing.
Yeah.
Look at that. How cool is that?
Shapes on their heads.
Yeah.
But odds are, anyone who's ever gone to writing class, the rule number one is write about what you know. If you keep making stuff up, you may not remember everything. But if you start off on a real life basis and write about what you know, you can't miss because it's always going to be in your head. So it stands to reason that it's possible that they drew what they knew and what they saw. Look at the Neanderthal cave drawings. It was always stick figures, going after buffalo and mammoth and stuff like that. So that looked pretty legit. But you don't see things with antennas or goofy bugs or monster creatures on cave drawings. Here you do.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
And just about every culture across the world has got a pyramid of some sort, the shape of a pyramid. Not exactly the same as the. I was working cruise ships of all things down in Cozumel, Mexico, and there was a whole tour that you could take with the ancient Mayan ruins, and their pyramids had steps, almost like steps, rather than the Egyptian pyramids, which were straight and flat.
Yeah.
But it was still the same pyramid shape, and that's a long way away, and there were no internet. Texting pictures back then.
Even in Thailand, they've got pyramids in Thailand. They've got pyramids all over the place. Even some hidden pyramids here in the U.S. that are underground. The Native Americans did those. But the big thing that separates the Aztec pyramids from the Egyptian pyramids, the Aztec pyramids, we've been able to decipher a fair amount of what their hieroglyphs were. But there were a lot of codexes from the called codex books.
They were actually the original emojis.
Right, original emoji. I'll buy that. That's good. That's what they were.
On the side of the cave, LOL. Oh, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Wow, nice. All right.
Yeah, lots of luau is what that was.
LMAO.
Yeah. When the conquistadors came, they trashed all these code books because they were heathens. But a few survived, and over the generations, they've been able to decipher most of the hieroglyphics. So they know exactly how the Mayan pyramids were built. Well, they quarried it from over there. They drug it over here. If you read this pyramid, look at right here. It says 1 ton here, cut it there. So with these hieroglyphs, they're able to make a block. Then however long it took them to make that block, they can extrapolate how long it would have taken to put a pyramid together. They have all that. So there's not a lot of mystery left with the Mayans, although some. But as far as how they were built, not a lot of mystery. But Egypt, big mystery. The Mayan pyramids, there's hieroglyphs all over the place. The Great Pyramid of Giza, anyone want to guess how many hieroglyphs are in it?
No.
0.
0. Not a 1. The Egyptians didn't say how they built it. So
Who said the Egyptians built
well,
it?
that's the thing, see? So what would that tell you? Well, maybe they didn't build the damn things. Maybe they were there beforehand. The Sphinx shows a lot of wear and tear, way more than it was originally sought as far as the year it was built. So what if civilization has it wrong? What if we're far older than anyone would ever have us believe? What if we just don't know? I mean,
That's the only acceptable answer to any of this.
You don't know.
We don't know.
But so many Egyptologists are dead set against these theories because that means that they're wrong and they don't want to rewrite their own history books. Some of these guys have built entire careers based on, well, this is how it is, this is how it was, boom, we know it. Oh, what if you don't? Are you willing to go to debunk your own work?
The world is flat.
The one other real quick thing, it was Edgar Casey.
And the Sunshine Band.
In the Sunshine Band. Famous, what would you characterize Edgar Casey as?
He was a psychic.
He was a psychic.
A true psychic.
He was a true psychic. He once said that all the answers to ancient Egypt will be buried underneath the Sphinx. Well, as it turns out, and that was, what was 20s and 30s-ish? Is that Edgar Casey time?
I think 30s and 40s,
30s,
but I could be wrong.
The technology at the time
Was that
wasn't...
on you?
The technology at the time, you didn't know what was underneath stuff. They didn't have things like ground-penetrating radar like they do now. Well, nowadays, they've done that sort of thing, and guess what they found? All kind of crap underneath the Sphinx. Well, the Egyptologists say, well, yeah, you know, okay, so it's there. Can't go. You can't dig underneath it because of the groundwater and this, and we can't, so no digging under the Sphinx. We're still right, you're all wrong.
Rumor has there's a Walmart under there, too.
Ah, yeah,
Heard about that.
I'll buy that, yeah.
They're still getting underpaid there.
Yeah, exactly. No students in space.
Yeah.
That is true. We're coming to you live from the Cosmic Compound. If you would like to contact us, we would love to hear from you. Carrie, how can they do that? Our viewers and listeners. Great.
Yeah, we got our Tumblr website. It'll be in the link below. We also have the emails that we mentioned last episode.
AlienXFile at wi.rr.com. That is AlienXFile at wi.rr.com. Also, you can hit us up at WLIP Mothership at live.com, or you can message us off of our Facebook pages.
Is easy.
The Facebook
That's
page is the easy one. It's Gregory DeGuire, and the picture is a feller with an elephant's trunk for a nose. That one's easy to find.
Yeah.
That's George Clinton, who came up with the Mothership Connection album, just so you know.
Great
Who is that?
album.
Why is it there? I'm glad you like it.
We also have a fan page on Facebook, so there are a few ways of getting a hold of us. Or if you watch us on YouTube, simply leave a comment.
And if you'd like to be a guest, if you have an idea for a guest, if you have an idea for a topic, we are totally not above thanking you and doing a show, or as many shows as we can on it. So, for this time episode, from the Cosmic Compound, we can't play where it is, we'll have to kill you.
It's a secret.
We don't want to do that. He's Greg, that's Carrie, I'm Toby Maxwell, the King of Uranus. Talk to you next time.